On the surface, we might all look similar. But when you look closer, you'll find something unique in each of us. Some showcase their differences with pride. Others hide them away. But life gives us only one chance, and the people you're about to see use theirs to turn those disparities into strengths. They don't just stand out, they defy expectations and compel the world to reconsider what's possible. So, let's dive in and celebrate the fearless, the daring, and the unforgettable. Number 15. Michel Lotito. Michel Lotito didn't just have an odd appetite, his diet was industrial grade. We mean, like for real. He was raised in Grenoble and started eating metal at age 9 to satisfy a rare condition called pica, where people crave inedible items. But Michel pushed the limits to a bizarre level. He ground up metal into fragments, washed them down with mineral oil and up to 2 quarts of water, and somehow avoided injury. He even decided to cut up a car and eat it. The metal bits were real pieces sliced from an actual vehicle. Doctors later found his stomach lining was twice the normal thickness, allowing him to consume almost 2 pounds of metal daily. Between 1978 and 1980, he did the impossible, eating an entire Cessna 150 airplane, 1,600 pounds of aluminum, rubber, and glass. By 1997, he had consumed more than 9 tons of metal, 18 bicycles, 15 shopping carts, 7 TVs, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, a steel coffin, and even his Guinness plaque. Oddly, soft foods like bananas upset him more than nails. Well, in short, it's shocking. Number 14. Daniel Kish. Daniel lost both of his eyes to cancer before his first birthday, but that never stopped him from living on his own terms. In LA, you might catch him riding a mountain bike through traffic, confidently navigating the streets using sound alone. He clicks his tongue twice per second, and those echoes bounce back to form a detailed mental map of his environment. This technique is known as human echolocation, and it's so precise that Daniel can detect a parked van 26 feet away or grab a basketball directly off the rim. He graduated with honors in psychology and became the first fully blind individual certified as an orientation and mobility specialist. In 2000, he founded World Access for the Blind and has since trained over 500 people across 40 countries. He's consulted for Pixar, undergone brain scans, tuned car engines by ear, and hiked canyons. His motto is very clear: don't just navigate the world, own it. And he always has. Number 13. Anthony Loffredo. Anthony isn't trying to look like a human because he's transforming into something entirely different. Known around the world for his Black Alien project, this French native began his transformation at age 26. Since then, he's covered his entire body in black ink, tattooed his eyeballs, split his tongue, and implanted silicone horns beneath his skin. He's also removed both ears, the tip of his nose, his upper lip, and even 2 fingers. His transformation has cost over $110,000, with most procedures performed in Mexico and Spain due to legal restrictions in France. Anthony once claimed he was 46% complete and even considered amputating a leg to replace it with a carbon fiber prosthetic. But by late 2023, he paused. He said the project started to lose meaning. Now he focuses on scarification, carefully etched lines across his face. With over 1.4 million Instagram followers, he continues to spark debate. Anthony insists each cut isn't shocking, it's part of who he truly is, and he loves who he is. Number 12. Lindsay Hilton. 5 seconds into a gym video recorded in Halifax, no one could believe their eyes. A young woman was hammering out ring pull-ups, but had no arms or legs. That clip of Lindsay Hilton, uploaded back in 2016, exploded online, pulling over 7 million views in 2 days. Born in 1991, missing all 4 limbs, Lindsay never wanted sympathy. "I'm trying to step up my game," By ninth grade, she was making tackles on the rugby field and went on to coach high school teams. At CrossFit On-Side, she designed her own adaptive gear with chains, Velcro, and hooks, allowing her to power clean 100 pounds, the same as her body weight. She crushed burpees, wall balls, and kipping pull-ups just like every other athlete. In January 2017, her efforts paid off. She ranked top 5 globally in the adaptive seated RX division at Miami's Wodapalooza. She trains 4 days a week, works full-time, deadlifts 135 pounds, swims laps, and still speaks at schools. Number 11. Longest beard on a living woman. Erin Honeycutt from the USA holds the world record for the longest beard on a living woman, officially measured at 30 centimeters. She surpassed the previous record of 25.5 centimeters, which was held by 75-year-old Vivian Wheeler. Erin has been growing her beard for over 2 years and lives with polycystic ovarian syndrome, a hormonal disorder that can lead to excessive facial hair, irregular cycles, weight fluctuations, and fertility challenges. Her beard began noticeably growing around age 13, causing her to shave up to 3 times a day well into adulthood. After losing part of her eyesight, she eventually grew tired of shaving, and her wife, Jen, encouraged her to let it grow naturally. "It's kind of nice to be recognized," Erin said, "even though it's just something that naturally happens." Meanwhile, Sarwan Singh from Canada, whose beard now measures 2.54 meters, still holds the men's title. So, do you have a beard? Number 10. Stig Severinsen. Stig swims beneath frozen lakes wearing nothing but swim trunks, completely calm, as if the cold simply doesn't exist. The Danish freediver, who holds a PhD in medicine and a master's degree in biology, combines scientific knowledge and yoga techniques to slow his heart rate to just 18 beats per minute before diving. In 2012, he inhaled pure oxygen, entered a 30-degree tank, and held his breath for 22 full minutes, a Guinness World Record longer than most TV episodes. But that wasn't all. In 2010, he swam 236 feet under a frozen lake, wearing only briefs, smashing the previous record by nearly 50 feet. Then in 2013, he beat his own record again, swimming 500 feet using a monofin. He's won 4 world titles in freediving, authored the bestseller Breatheology, and sold over 250,000 copies. Today, even at 60, he trains Navy SEALs and athletes while developing VR-based breath training to show what's possible with just one breath. Number 9. Devendra Suthar. Devendra Suthar opens the door to his carpentry shop with more fingers than most people have digits altogether. He has 14 fingers and 14 toes. Born with polydactyly in Gujarat, India, Devendra never viewed his condition as a flaw. He saw 28 fully formed, jointed digits as 28 built-in advantages. Guinness officially recognized him on November 11, 2014, as the living person with the most fingers and toes. Locals call him the walking clamp, and he embraces it, twisting off jar lids with one hand, sanding wood with spider-like precision, sketching intricate designs with fingers to spare. His shoes must be custom-made, and he's twice as careful with blades. One slip, and the risk multiplies. But he sees no burden. Every year on August 29th, crowds flood his village for Polydactyly Awareness Day. Devendra performs finger push-ups, balancing on 20 fingertips as children cheer. To him, these aren't just anomalies, they're gifts. Number 8. Sam Berns. Sam lived with one of the rarest and most devastating genetic disorders, Hutchinson-Gilford progeria. Born October 23, 1996 in Rhode Island, his body aged nearly 8 times faster than average. By age 10, he stood 4 feet tall, weighed 45 pounds, and had already launched fundraisers with his physician parents for the newly created Progeria Research Foundation. But Sam was never chasing sympathy. In a 7-minute TEDx talk now viewed over 100 million times, he laid out a philosophy still quoted today. Focus on what you can do. That message resonated so powerfully that in January 2014, the New England Patriots made him their honorary captain. Tragically, he passed the night before the game at only 17. But the impact lived on. His advocacy helped lead to the FDA approval of lonafarnib in 2020, the first drug to slow progeria's progression. It now grants affected children 2 to 3 extra years. Every birthday they celebrate today still carries Sam's legacy forward. All right, guys, now let's move to number stew. Dennis Avner. Dennis Avner wasn't content with looking human. He wanted to resemble a tiger. Born in Flint, Michigan on August 27, 1958, the former Navy sonar technician believed his soul was bonded to a feline spirit rooted in his Wyandotte heritage. But instead of simply honoring it, he decided to embody it. Working with body mod expert Steve Howarth and navigating Arizona's laws banning anesthesia for such procedures, Dennis underwent at least 14 major surgeries. His nose was flattened, upper lip split, brow reshaped with Teflon implants, and face embedded with titanium studs to snap on nylon whiskers. He then tattooed his entire body with tiger stripes, wore feline eye contacts, fitted acrylic claws, and added a servo-powered tail. He became known as Stalking Cat and was officially recognized by Guinness for the most permanent surgical changes to resemble an animal. Despite public fascination, life remained difficult, and then he died at 54. Number 6. Anastasia Pokreshchuk. Anastasia Pokreshchuk wasn't born with standout features, so she built her own. The Kyiv-based influencer began her transformation at 26, after falling deep into online cosmetic tutorials. Her focus? Her cheeks. Nearly 10 years later, she's injected over half a pint, around 35 fluid ounces, of hyaluronic gel into her face and claims to have the largest cheekbones on Earth. Her look is instantly recognizable. Apple-sized cheeks, a frozen jawline, and lips plumped to match. She estimates she's spent at least $2,700 on cheek fillers alone. Though her transformation includes veneers and other tweaks, her facial volume is what draws attention. Surgeons have warned her of long-term nerve damage, but Anastasia isn't concerned. She even mixes her own microdoses, calling the process her version of painting. Since 2020, her follower count has surged from 22,000 to over 440,000. Her feature on Hooked on the Look has over 12 million views. While trolls mock her online, beauty brands continue to sign deals. Number 5. Jo Cameron. Jo once leaned against a hot stove and only realized it when she smelled burning skin. Now 77, this grandmother from the Scottish Highlands lives with a condition so rare, it's been identified in only a handful of people globally. Her DNA carries unique mutations in 2 genes, FAAH and FAAHOUT, that completely suppress pain signals. She requires no anesthesia for surgery, feels neither cuts nor burns, and heals nearly twice as quickly as most. Her condition was first noticed in 2013 when she declined painkillers after a hip replacement and rated her pain a mere 2 out of 10. Genetic tests revealed her bloodstream had double the standard levels of anandamide, the body's natural version of THC. But her ability extends beyond pain resistance. Jo also scored 0 on clinical tests for anxiety and depression and stayed perfectly calm during a 70-mile-per-hour car crash. Scientists now use her genome with CRISPR tech to design non-addictive painkillers. Meanwhile, Jo prunes roses barefoot and never feels a thing. Number 4. Abul Bajandar. By the time Abul Bajandar turned 25, his hands resembled tree roots more than anything human. He wasn't born that way. Raised in Khulna, Bangladesh, Abul drove a rickshaw to provide for his family, but carried a rare condition called epidermodysplasia verruciformis. It allows a common virus to trigger bark-like skin growths across the body. His hands grew so overrun that they weighed 11 pounds each, stiff and heavy enough to prevent him from lifting his own child. In 2016, surgeons at Dhaka Medical College began a series of 16 operations to remove the growths and restore mobility. For a while, it worked. But by 2019, the condition returned, more aggressively than before. New branches of growth spread, raising his total surgeries above 25. In a painful interview, he begged doctors to amputate both hands, just to sleep again. Fewer than 200 people worldwide share the condition, and no cure exists. Number 3. Most teeth in a female mouth. Kalpana Balon from India now holds the record for the most teeth in a female mouth, with an astonishing total of 38, 6 more than the typical adult. Her dental structure includes 4 additional mandibular teeth in her lower jaw and 2 extra maxillary teeth in her upper jaw. These supernumerary teeth began emerging during her teenage years. Though they caused no pain, she was initially too afraid to have them removed and ultimately chose to keep them. Kalpana said the teeth don't hurt, but they do make eating difficult, as food tends to get trapped between them. Despite the inconvenience, she proudly embraced her unique condition. "I am so happy to get the Guinness World Records title," she shared. Kalpana's record highlights one of the rarest anatomical anomalies and adds her name to the growing list of amazing individuals. Number 2. Nick Vujicic. Nick was born in Melbourne on December 4, 1982, without arms or legs, a condition called tetra-amelia. Yet from the moment he flipped himself upright as a toddler, Nick decided to be defined by what he could do. At 23, he launched Life Without Limbs, and by 2024 had spoken to over 733 million people across 78 countries. His goal? To inspire 1 billion by 2028. Crowds don't just listen. They watch him surf 8-foot Hawaiian waves, skydive from 12,000 feet, and score soccer goals using a carbon fiber foot strapped to his hip. On stage, he spins himself in circles using only his head, offering high fives with the tiny foot on his left torso. Off stage, he lives in Texas with his wife, Kanai, and their 4 kids. He's also crowdfunding a feature documentary set for release in 1,500 U.S. theaters by October 2025. At NBA arenas, he leads anti-bullying rallies, challenging students to focus on 3 things they can do, not what they can't. Number 1. Jessica Cox. Jessica Cox was born without arms, but that never kept her grounded. Raised in Tucson, she found ways to do everything using her feet: tie her shoes, type, brush her hair, and eventually fly a plane. At 25, she became the first person in history to earn a pilot's license using only her feet. Her plane, a 1946er coupe, has no rudder pedals, but flying it is anything but simple. Jessica has to push the throttle and pull the yoke using her right foot. "I have my right foot right here on the yoke and my left foot here on the throttle. I'm using my big toe to press on the push-to-talk switch." She lifts off at 55 miles per hour and climbs to 5,500 feet above the desert. In 2008, Guinness named her the first licensed pilot to fly without hands. If you found this video interesting, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.